Welcome to Ottawa Business Journal's webinar, How Ottawa Merchants Can Survive and Thrive Amid COVID-19. My name is Michael Curran from the Ottawa Business Journal. Thank you for joining us today. We really do appreciate it. We have a great broadcast lined up for you in the next 30 minutes on one of the hottest business topics that is today, which is the evolution in a digital sense of many businesses. It goes without saying that these are immensely challenging times for retailers, fashion boutiques, restaurants, bars, salons, go on and on. These are tough times, particularly when they're being forced to close. The pandemic has forced a lot of these businesses to evolve their business models. And because of that, some are not only surviving, but they're thriving. So today is really about a discussion with one of our local experts on the evolution of these business models. I'd now like to welcome from Invest Ottawa, Paula Hopkins. Welcome to the show, Paula.
Thank you for having me.
So Paula, let's lay down some groundwork just as we kick things off. We really do appreciate you being here today. Tell us a little bit about your job at Invest Ottawa.
Yes, for sure. So I'm lucky enough to be the senior manager of the entrepreneurship team at Invest Ottawa. And what my team focuses on is providing services and programs for our Main Street businesses. And Main Street are defined as those traditional product and service-based businesses. So that's what my team does on a regular basis.
I'm sure it's a great team, and they're here to help local businesses. That's really what we're here to talk about today. And we're going to spend most of our 30 minutes, Paula, talking about various strategies, but there's an underlying purpose here, which is a program called Digital Main Street. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Paula, please?
Yes, absolutely. So the Digital Main Street program is funded by the government, and it provides services to our Main Street businesses to help them digitize their business. So to help them go digital. And so the way we do that is we have a couple of different things that businesses can take advantage of. But one is their business advisory services. So when you enter the program, you get matched with a business advisor. I think we have at least 20 different business advisors that can really talk to you about what your challenges are, where you're at, and what you need. And then we have digital transformation teams. And these teams are made up of new grads and students. And these digital transformation teams have skill sets in the digital world. And so they actually create content for our business owners.
It's a great program. I know a lot of people are using it, and it's a way we appreciate that small business owners are overloaded at a time like this, but this is like a new team they can bring on to help tackle some of these challenges. At the end of the broadcast, we're going to be letting you know how you can connect with both Paula and also get more information on Digital Main Street. So let's take a look at our agenda for the next 25 minutes or so. Our first topic, which we'll get to in just a minute, is future-proof your business. The second topic will be transition to online sales. Our third topic is marketing and social media. And then we'll have a Q&A with today's audience. And finally, we'll let you know how you can, once again, connect with Paula and the Digital Main Street team. Bit of housekeeping before we go to topic number one. We're joined in the background in our studio by Peter Cavesi from the Ottawa Business Journal. He will be watching the YouTube chat. So if you have a question for Paula, we want to get that question to her. You can do so through the chat. Peter will also be touching base with you with us after topic one and topic two to report on some poll results, some polling we did of today's audience. So let's get right down to business, Paula, and we're going to go to topic number one, which is future-proof your business. Paula, when I'm chatting with local business owners, there's a bit of a metaphor that some of them use, particularly if they're getting into more digital business models, and the concept or the metaphor is almost like pressing fast forward. So we've somehow gone through time at warp speed, and we want to talk about this concept of what future-proofing your business is. So what does that concept mean to you, Paula?
Yeah, so future-proofing your business is really setting your business up to handle changing times, to be successful during changing times, and to be successful during crisis. And as you mentioned, I'm sure there are a lot of businesses out there that were thinking about going digital. I mean, my team specifically was even thinking about offering more webinars, but we were busy doing what we were doing, and we just that was in the future. And then we were forced to jump in. So a lot of these businesses maybe started their online store, but didn't have a big emphasis on it right at the moment. And then this happens, and we all, like you said, just fast forwarded to make things happen.
Yeah, it was the same with us at Ottawa Business Journal, right? We had thought for a lot of years, hey, we should be doing more online webinars
Yeah,
and that, but we never got to it. And bam, here we are today. So,
exactly.
if we go back to that kind of idea of a digital transformation, one of the examples that's been used, Paula, is the concept of a restaurant not being able to have people in-house. Of course, they are able to, but the idea of them selling meal kits instead of having in restaurant diners. Tell us a little bit about those types of digital transformations.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the businesses that have come through this program. I mean, when these entrepreneurs are really creative. So whether restaurants are creating products or selling products now, or retailers are selling online, putting online stores up, fitness facilities are now going and putting YouTube training up or training online. You've got your spas, your your barbers, your hairdressers. Those service-based businesses are now doing subscription boxes. And so what we're finding, though, is that means a whole new business, right? That's starting a whole new business. And so we need businesses to think about it that way. And actually, instead of just jumping in, really, we don't have time to assess, but it's assessing as fast as we can by doing maybe a business model canvas, for example. But that's, who are your clients? Who's your target market? What's your value proposition? And so starting with the basics in order to make this addition to your business successful.
And the last thing I think we wanted to touch on in topic number one, Paula, is this idea that some people listening today might be saying, whoa, slow down, Paula. Like, I don't even have a website, right? So touch a little bit on what Shop Here is.
Yeah, that is so true. So if a lot of us are good at what we do, we might not be good on the web, right? So if you don't have a website or you don't have an online store, the Shop Here program has a team of students and new grads as well that will get you online really fast. So they'll be the ones to set up your website or to set up your e-commerce platform. And then once that's set up, then you can transition to our Future Proof program under the Digital Main Street program.
That sounds like you got some good resources and a very kind of logical flow through that system. Listen, we're going to go to bring Peter Cavesi. I was telling you a little bit about him here. Here's Peter on screen. And Peter, welcome, first of all.
Thank you very much.
You had an opportunity to poll some of the viewers today on a question. The first question was about how to reach new customers. So tell us about the poll and the result, Peter.
Well, at the risk of stating the obvious, COVID-19 caused mass disruption to the traditional ways that many merchants and businesses overall connected with their customers. What's exciting, I guess, from our vantage point, though, is seeing all these new forms of experimentation about businesses and merchants trying new things of not only reconnecting with their existing customers, but also trying new things to reach new customers. So we asked our registrants what tools or strategies have been most effective for your business to reach new customers amid the pandemic. And again, all sorts of things to experiment with, some of which we've just discussed. And the overwhelming response from our audience was overhauled website. I found that particularly interesting because I think every business owner would look at their website with a critical eye and say there's all sorts of things that they would love to improve about their website. But Paul, I'd love to get your take on this. If a business owner is thinking about their website, where would you recommend they really sort of focus their attention and really cast a critical eye on?
Yeah. So I mean, we have teams that are experts in this, and that's what our digital transformation teams are really great at, and they will help with website refreshes. But I would say the user experience, of course, the brand needs to be clear and really visible. But I would say, is it easy for the user to maneuver through your website? You know, especially if we're adding those online shopping carts. Is the shopping experience easy on the website? So that whole user experience would be my suggestion.
That's some spectacular takeaway advice. Thank you very much, Paula. And before I step back, just a quick reminder to our audience, please, if you have any questions for Paula or about digital transformation of your business in general, drop them into the chat window just below the YouTube video. We have a few minutes set aside at the end for audience questions. So, Mike, back over to you.
Thanks, Peter. And we'll be back to Peter at the end of topic 2. And let's move to topic 2 right now, which is transition to online sales. So in topic number 1, Paula, we really talked about how to future-proof your business. Now we're going to get a little bit into the weeds here. Some people might be thinking about, okay, so I'm following this. I need to evolve my business model, future-proof it. This likely means e-commerce. When you say e-commerce, then the big question is what platform to use. So what are some of the things that people watching today, Paula, should consider when they're thinking about adopting a e-commerce platform?
Yeah. So the e-commerce platform, absolutely. We need to make sure that those platforms are suitable for your business. Again, that they fit your website, they fit all of those things. But there's many other platforms that when we're looking at this, that businesses should be considering, even beyond the e-commerce side. And that's what we're seeing. A lot of businesses come to us and they do have the Shopify account, and so they're set up and then things look good, but then we need to look at, do you need a booking system? So some of those businesses that are with us today, maybe you don't need an online store, but you need some form of a scheduling system or a booking system. The other thing that we're seeing a lot is implementing customer relation management systems. A lot of our businesses that come through, and they've got, thousands of followers on Instagram. They've got reviews that, hundreds of reviews. And when you ask, they have no client data. And so during times like this, being able to stay connected with your clients, that's critical. So we're helping businesses understand and implement those customer relation management systems. So those are just an example of some of the platforms that, businesses should be looking into, depending on the business that you're in. But related to those businesses too is like the fulfillment side. So we need to be thinking about, as I said, it's a brand new business. So how are we going to work at getting all of our stuff to our clients, our product or our service? So, if you've got an online store, how are you going to manage that store? Right? What are you going to do with your products and keeping them up to date? What about shipping? Are you paying for it? Is it being drop shipped? What about curbside pickup? Are you scheduling that? How is that working? All of those different things with the fulfillment side. I mentioned the fitness facilities too, right? If you are a fitness facility and you're doing webinars now or online training, are you consistent with that? Are you posting weekly? Are you posting monthly, or whatever your cadence is? So those are critical. And then I think,
I was just gonna say it almost needs a fundamental rethink of the business, right? You often can't just like add something on digital. You need to think about it from A to Z. Fulfillment being such a great point, right? You can't just sell something. You obviously need to fulfill it after it's sold.
Absolutely.
And tell us a little bit about visibility and branding, by the way. That's key too. And we're going to explore that a little bit in number 3, but let's dig into it now.
Yeah, so visibility and branding, that again, really we're seeing a lot of website refreshes, as we saw earlier in the poll, logo refreshes, those types of things, like having the visibility and a clear, clean look for your business. But what I see more than anything is that a lot of our businesses don't even have updated Google My Business. So if people are trying to find you and your clients are trying to find you, just even Google My Business, updating that is your first step, and then figuring out how to go wider later on.
Yeah, I like that point, right? You've set up some of the basics, the business models been future proofed. You're starting to get online, but you got to realize that not everyone's going to react to that marketing instantaneously, and they're going to go Google you. And if they don't find you right away, all of that has been for naught.
Yeah.
Paula, we're going to bring Peter back onto the screen. Once again, Peter's been asking questions in advance to some of our viewers. So welcome back to you, Peter. So the second question, I think, had something to do with social media. Tell us about that, Peter.
Well, I have to admit that this is a common question that I find myself both being on the receiving end and asking all the time, which is, what social media platform is most effective? Quite frankly, the answer I always give is, well, it depends. So I wanted to ask our audience for their insights. So what social media platform is most effective for driving sales at your business? And the most popular answer that we got was Instagram. Paul, I'm really curious for your take on that. Does that surprise you at all?
No, not for the people that we're targeting today. So I would assume we've probably got a lot of merchants and store owners online and today with us in restaurants and probably, like you said, salons and such. So Instagram makes sense for their business for sure. Great. But it depends. It goes back to what you said, Peter. It totally depends on the business.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to be a great segue to our next topic. Before I step away, just a quick reminder that for everyone who is watching, please do put the questions that are coming to mind about anything that we're talking about, or any of the experiences that you're having with your business in the chat window below. We'll be taking a closer look at those in a few minutes. So, Mike, back over to you.
Thanks, Peter. And as Peter said, in about 6 minutes or so, we'll be going to our Q&A. So start asking those questions. The third and final topic that we're exploring today is marketing and social media. It's a natural progression, the way we planned this, Paula. Again, we did the business future-proofing. We started talking about e-commerce, but this is really about maybe what we could call discoverability online, right? So, you've set up the various e-commerce platforms and that, but you need kind of a way to attract people's attention on a constant way. And social media is an excellent way of doing that. The complexity, though, Paula, is the number of social media platforms. So where should people start thinking?
Yeah, and that is interesting. I mean, you saw the list that was there on the poll. There are so many to choose from, and a common mistake would be for businesses to look at what is popular out there. And TikTok is rising and gaining more popularity. But just going with the popular channel isn't the right answer, right? You really need to go back to what we talked about at the very beginning of this, and take a look at who is your client and who is your target client, and then figure out where are they spending their time. Are they spending their time on Instagram? Are they spending their time on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube? And once you know your client and you know where they are, that's the platform to target. And I'd suggest too, when you're just starting out in this whole social media world, is choose one. Don't try to do them all. Don't try to spread yourself across all platforms. Pick one, maybe two, and get your feet under you there, and then start with posting and figuring out that world. The best thing to do is to have a plan, because social media marketing can be a job in itself. And so we can easily, as business owners, get way too caught up in our social media posts. So really having a digital marketing plan will be critical for you. And we help people, like there are lots of plugins out there that can help you with that content management.
And the concept of organic versus paid. So, you've set up your social media. I love the point too. The focus probably on one platform and get it right before you move on. Um, should businesses be considering spending a little bit of money on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, what have you? That organic versus paid debate, Paula. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and so of course there is definitely merit in the paid. Nowadays we're really struggling, our businesses, so paid is a challenge, and we wonder if we should. I think the overarching challenge that we have, whether you're looking at organic or you're looking at the paid posts, is looking at your clear messaging, right? So getting those organic posts or paid posts really working for you, because you could put a lot of money behind it and it might not go anywhere. So things like understanding hashtags and what are the proper hashtags to use for you and your business. Taking a look at tagging, right? Are you tagging the proper businesses? Are you tagging the proper people in order to help share your post? There's all those different things, and clear calls to action is important on your posts as well, because there's nothing more frustrating than seeing something and not knowing where to go, right? And to that point, we have a lot of store owners that have physical locations or restaurants that aren't actually putting their location in their post. So let people know where you are. Those are kind of the things that I would say according to the organic and the paid. So both can be very successful for you as long as you're kind of setting that up proper. And then if you do have some money, figuring out where, if you're going to spend $5, where's the best, where is it best to put your money behind those paid posts. But that would be my take on those.
Yeah, because every platform has its idiosyncrasies, right? So you really need to kind of work through them, and then probably start off with a little bit of experimentation around paid, like educated experimentation. Don't just waste your money. Do things intelligently. But it is kind of about measuring and watching the organic reach versus paid. So listen, Paula, we're going to get some questions. As we've said repeatedly, Peter's been watching our chat. So let's bring Peter back into our conversation. And Peter, maybe you can give us a sense of what people are curious about.
Well, I guess I'm going to just start off with a question for Paula. You've been so privileged to meet so many of Ottawa's businesses. I'm wondering if there's any particular stories you have about businesses that have been had their back up against the wall because of COVID, but really sort of rose to the occasion and tried some things and implemented some measures that might provide a bit of a lesson for other businesses that they can take away.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many to choose from. But a couple that come to mind is we've had a fitness facility that actually did put their training online, and they've actually made more money with their online training than they have in their membership. We've also had businesses that have come to us and that we've helped them with the understanding hashtags, giving them templates for posting online and doing things like that, and they using our hashtags and our templates and the understanding where to put that money behind those paid posts. They reported having more sales in 1 month than they did in their previous 6 months of sales. So we've had experience like that. We've even had entrepreneurs get creative and really support each other, where we've had, coffee roasters and chocolatiers now, combined together. Now they're actually doing a business together. So, during times like this, there's, collaborating, supporting each other, that is really, really what we're seeing. So those are just a few stories.
Those are really, really good stories. One question that came in is a really, really good one. Of course, throughout the pandemic, it hasn't been linear, right? We've had a lot of stops and starts of lockdowns, reopenings, partial capacity. So a lot of businesses, they still have their what I'll call traditional revenue streams available to them, albeit at a maybe slightly reduced capacity. At the same time, we're talking about all these new opportunities of, for instance, you gave the great analogy there of a virtual event. What advice do you have for a business owner as far as balancing that traditional business that where they had success and achieved success with these new opportunities in this new environment? How does a business owner look at balancing those?
Yeah, and that's the challenge. That's where we need to start to really assess our businesses, and essentially, as we've said, you've got now two businesses, right? You've got an online world and an online business, and a physical location. And when we go back to whatever the new normal is, we're going to need to figure out how to balance those, and to recognize that potentially those two clients, those that are coming through, are different clients. So we are going to need to service them very differently. So again, setting things up when you're digitizing your business, try to use those tools that will do a lot of the work for you. Right. So that when we do get back to a little bit more of the norm, that you will still have the time for your physical location as well as your online presence. So that's where talking to some experts around how to manage it, and talking to some experts around those digital tools that will be the most effective for you, so that you're not spending, all your time in one over the other.
Another question I had surrounds around metrics and measurement. Of course, everything that we're talking about today, admittedly, it's a journey, right? We're never going to be fully done our digital transformation. But for companies that have been sort of thrust, into this situation, how can they measure where they're at on their journey? How do they know if they're sort of at where they should be in the current environment?
Yeah, and that's a real tough question to see, and that's where I would probably fall to my business experts on this that have a lot more experience in digitization. So we have a number of different experts that really help you set up those metrics and set up your business in the best way possible. So that question, and again, I probably would have to say it depends on the business and what you're measuring, what you need to be measuring. But I'd probably fall back to our experts in the digitization world to really give a good, clear answer on that one.
Understandably. And I know we're coming a bit tight on time, but I'll just pose maybe one last question for you. Again, you have the opportunity to talk to so many of our local businesses, our Main Street merchants. If you sort of gaze into your crystal ball and look ahead towards 2021, how do you see Ottawa's Main Street sector, if I can call it that, emerging from the pandemic? How do you see the business community evolving over the next 10 months or so?
Yeah, and we actually have a webinar coming up on that specifically. So this is going to be interesting on the future. But if you were to ask me and my own specific opinion, I don't think that in-store physical location that's going to bounce back. I don't know if we'll bounce back fully, but people like being in restaurants. People like the going into stores and touching and feeling and, trying on the products. There's just something about that personal interaction. But I also believe that the online is not going away. I think that is just going to continue to be there and continue to grow. So I think that a lot of consumers have seen the benefits of online, and they've also seen the convenience of online. So I think that is not going away at all, and in fact will grow. But I don't see that our retail locations and our restaurants and our spas and all of that I think they will bounce back. That's my opinion.
Yeah, well, no, it's a valid opinion. And listen, one of the underlying themes that I picked up when you were speaking there, Paula, is sometimes in answers we need to say it depends, right? And the reason for that is because this isn't a black and white thing. There's a level of complexity and customization on this. And maybe as we wrap up, there's the pitch, right? So if you're watching this and you probably have a lot of questions, you need to talk to the experts, right? So I'm sure, why don't we provide people with a bit of information on how to connect with you and the team at Invest Ottawa / Digital Main Street, Paula?
Yes, absolutely. So in order to connect with us, if you want more information on the program, you see our website there. So investottawa.ca /Digital Main Street. But the best way to connect with our teams is through our email. So dms@investottawa.ca. And if you are a BIA member as well, you can use the email dss@investottawa.ca. So dms@investottawa.ca is your best approach. But if you're a BIA, just switch it to DSS.
There you go. That's great, Paula. Well, thank you for spending so much time with us, Paula. I know what you're doing and what Invest Ottawa is doing specifically around Digital Main Street is helping lots of local businesses. So thanks on behalf of all of today's viewers for joining us. And thank you, Peter, thank you for being here as well. I'll bid adieu to both of you. Listen, as we wrap up, I wanted to let everyone know that March is going to be a really busy month for OBJ when it comes to webinars. In fact, I think we've got a weekly webinar lined up for successive weeks here. We'll be talking to employment lawyers, Eamon Harnden, next week about some important employment law matters, to a local benefit investment firm, Meldrum Horn, the week after. So some great topics lined up for local business owners. A reminder, if you want to stay abreast of local business news, you should visit obj.ca website on a daily basis. Also, you can subscribe to OBJ Today. That's a daily email newsletter, Monday to Friday, that should come to you. We have lots of social media channels for you. LinkedIn, Twitter, so on and so forth tend to be really popular. So please connect with us. It's important that we all kind of stick together and share information about what's happening at our local business committee. So thank you once again for attending today. Please stay connected. Hope to see you real soon. Bye-bye.